Hi, everyone, and welcome to episode number 39 of my podcast. My name's Emma, and this is where I share everything that I've been knitting and crocheting lately. I have got an awful lot to share with you today. It's been quite a while since I last filmed. My last episode went up in February, but was actually filmed in January. So, as you can imagine, I've got lots and lots to share. I've been very busy. In fact, I think I am probably going to film this in two parts. What I'll do is put one episode on this week. So I'm filming this on Tuesday and I'm hoping to get this all finished, edited, and uploaded for you for Wednesday, tomorrow. And then the second part I'm also going to film today, but I won't put that up on YouTube until next week. So we'll see how we go. I'm going to just keep talking until I reach about the 25-minute mark, I think, and then I'm going to stop and then I'll film part two. So I hope you're all doing okay anyway, and if you're in the UK, I hope you're enjoying the lovely sunshine. We are having sort of a mini heat wave at the moment. It's bank holiday weekend coming up, and the weather is meant to turn really cold just in time for the bank holiday, which is just typical, isn't it? But yeah, it's really lovely and warm. I have made some notes before I started recording, and I have got two finished objects to talk with you about today. I've got a project that was in progress the last time we chatted, and I want to give you an update on that. I've got 6 new projects that I've not shared before that are all in kind of various stages of completion. Some of them are very nearly finished, some of them are really not nearly finished. I've got some acquisitions that I want to share with you. Yeah, there's lots and lots to talk about. So let's start off with finished objects. These are both projects that I was working on the last time. The first one is my Friday tee, which I am wearing for you today. I'm not going to stand up or anything. I will take some B-roll footage and pop that over the top so you can get a better idea of how it looks. But this is a pattern by Petite. Last time I shared it with you, it was in the very early stages. I think I had just completed the short rows and joined it in the round to start working the raglan increases. This took me a really, really long time to finish. It is worked entirely in broken rib. So it's a round of knit one, purl one, followed by a round of plain knitting. And the rounds of plain knitting were so much more enjoyable than the rounds of knit ones and purl ones. But it took a long time, but I got there. I'm really happy with how it's turned out. I used some beautiful yarn from Loom wool. So the main colour is called Milk Tea. And if you remember, I originally bought this to work with my advent calendar and then had a change of heart. That is all that I've got left. I had 2 skeins and this is what I've got left. I would estimate that to be about 25 grams, I think. I was hoping to have enough to knit a pair of socks with. I want to knit a matching pair to match this. Yeah, I've not got enough. I'm going to have to buy another skein. I might contact Jess today actually and see if she can dye one of those up for me. And for the contrast colour, I had this beautiful Persimmon yarn. I adore this colour. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to have it. So, what can I say about this pattern? It is a lovely pattern. It's just a slog to get through. It is really, really slow going, and because of all the purling, I did find that if I worked on it for too long, I did get some aches and things in my hands, so I was having to take quite a lot of breaks from it. The sleeves I've actually made quite a bit shorter than they're meant to be knit in the pattern. And I'm glad that I did. I didn't realise how long the sleeves were in the pattern. And it wasn't until I was working the first sleeve and I thought, well, this is looking kind of long. I'm going to try it on. I think I still had 4 or 5 centimeters to go, and I tried it on, and it was already at the length that I was happy with. So they are slightly longer than ideally I would have been happy with, because once I had decided that I was happy with the length, I still had to knit the cuff. But it was just that much work that I really couldn't face taking it back. But yeah, very beautiful pattern. It has blocked really nicely. I made the second size, and because it's ribbing, it does tend to cinch in, and then once it's blocked, it opens up, and yeah, it's really lovely fit. I've not actually worn it. I've been saving it because I wanted to keep it all nice and pristine to show you today. So yes, I will already have put some footage in so you can get a better idea of that. The other project that I was working on last time that was in progress was my book Nook socks, and this at the time was a new pattern by This Handmade Life, and I had only just started them, and I have to admit I have also only just finished them. I'll show you them on the sock blockers. They don't look too attractive on the sock blockers, if I'm honest, or at least I don't think they do. Because they're knit entirely in rib, even the sock blockers don't seem to stretch them out enough. So I'll show you, but I've also got a picture of me actually wearing them that I'll pop in so you can see as well, because they look a lot better actually on the foot. So I enjoyed making these. They contained a lot of new to me techniques that I've not done before. So the main thing that was new to me was the heel. So I don't know if you can see it there. The heel and all of the sole of the foot is knit in garter stitch, which was one of the things that drew me to the pattern in the first place, because that is something that I'd never done before. And I'm going to take it off the sock blockers to give you a close-up of the heel. I wasn't sure what this heel was called, and I've had it on good authority that this is a Flegel heel, which I've never made before. It's really quite strange. So let me talk you through it. So I cast on and knit the entire leg. And then what you do, once you get to the heel, you continue working across both needles. So with a heel flap and gusset, if you've done that before, you'll know that you just start working across one of the needles only to create the heel flap. I assumed something similar would be done with this pattern, but it isn't. You continue working across the both needles, and what you do is you just increase to create this kind of triangle here, and that gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then once you reach the bottom here, then you start knitting across one of the needles only, and you work the heel turn in exactly the same way as you would do if you were doing a heel flap and gusset. And then you kind of decrease all of the stitches down to get back to the correct number. It was a really nice way of working the heel, I think, because it's still roomy, the same as a heel flap and gusset, but there was none of the faff of having to pick up stitches or anything like that. And quite often when I work a heel flap and gusset, I will get a gap or like a ladder when I work the gusset decreases, and because you're not doing the gusset in the same way, you don't get any of that, but you still get the extra room across the top of the foot. So it was really enjoyable. And I made both of these concurrently, so I knit them separately on two separate needles but at the same time, which I'm really glad that I did, because if I hadn't done that, I really think I would have struggled to get the second sock done. The problem I had was the leg. The leg of this sock is ginormous. I followed the pattern, And I think the pattern has you knit the leg until you reach about 7 inches, and then you start the heel, and that is way longer than what I would normally knit for a pair of socks. But because the heel was new to me, I wasn't sure how much length the heel would add on. So with a heel flap and gusset, you'll know that as you're knitting the heel flap, it adds length onto the leg overall. Whereas if you work a short row heel, like a shadow wrap heel or a fish lips kiss heel, it doesn't add anything onto the leg really. And I assumed that this heel was going to be like that and that it wasn't going to add any extra length, but of course it did. So they've just ended up very long, which is not a bad thing. They're a lot longer than my normal style, but they're going to be really nice and warm and cozy for winter. So yeah, it's fine. It's fine. I made these using dropped Nord, and I believe the colour was caramel, but I have got it written down in here. Just let me check. There we go. Yes, caramel, which is shade number 23. And last time, after I shared all of the drops Nord that I bought, because I didn't just get the one colour, I bought quite a lot of different colours so that I've got a nice little sock knitting stash now. So many of you commented and got back to me and told me that you absolutely love knitting socks in dropped Nord, and I had nothing but positive feedback for it. So yeah, so that's really good because I bought quite a lot of it. I have used it before for shawls and things, just not for socks. I do like it. I must say the only thing that I am not 100% keen on is the alpaca content because it is quite hairy. And if I bring it closely, I'm not sure if it will. I don't think it's really picking it up. You'd have to take my word for it that it is very hairy. And because I worked these using my high sharps, which are incredibly pointy, I found that my needles kept getting caught on the fuzzy bits. So that was a little bit frustrating. But I still like the yarn. So I will be casting on another pair of those soon. But yes, knitting them concurrently on separate needles is a game changer for me anyway, because I just don't think I would have had the discipline to cast on the second sock. And in fact, once I'd worked the heel on both of the socks, they'd kind of laid forgotten about for quite a long time. I could probably have finished them a lot earlier. And then I really wanted to cast on another pair of socks, but I couldn't because both of my sock needles were in use. And that's what gave me the motivation really to get them finished off. But once I'd got past the heel, I'd finished both socks, sorry, in 3 days. Once I got past that part, they just seemed to fly off the needles. So yes, they are the Book Nook socks. It's a pattern by This Handmade Life, and it comes with lots of different variations in the pattern as well. So I've done the 3x1 ribbing, but there's a 1x1 as well, I think. There's a version with cables, which is really nice that my friend Catherine is doing. She is on Instagram and YouTube as Catherine Crochets. She does some really beautiful tapestry crochet blankets and patterns. So go check her out if you haven't heard of her already. But yeah, we decided to cast those on together. I think Catherine said she's still got one sock to do. But yeah, it's been fun. It's always nice, isn't it, to have a friend to knit along with. Okay, how am I doing? We are at 14 minutes. I have one more project that you will have seen before from the last time, and then everything is going to be new for you. I am going to show you now my Advent scarf. So this was a fairly new project the last time. I did stop working on this after a while purely because I wanted to start concentrating on summer knits. So we are going away on holiday in a month, and I had lots of things that I wanted to make for summer, but in particular there were some of them that I wanted to make for holiday. So I got to about the end of February and then kind of abandoned everything and started working on a lot of summer knits instead, which I'm going to show you soon. But my Advent scarf, I am officially halfway through. So it's looking very long. Let me show you all the colours now. So this is where I'm up to. So I'm just knitting this as one sort of long big tube, and these are all of the colours. I'm 12 colours in. I've got 12 to go, which brings me to the 24 from the advent calendar. So all of this yarn is from my Loom wool advent calendar. The theme was Twilight Garden. They're really beautiful. I think I said this last time, but they're very, very wearable shades, I think. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to being able to wear this in winter. And because it is double-sided, it's really thick and warm as well. I'm really looking forward to picking this back up actually. I'm not going to chat too much about it because I kind of went through everything last episode. So if you want to know a little bit more about the yarn and see all of the mini skeins and everything that I had, then you can pop and look at my last episode. But yeah, I just wanted to show you the progress that I've made on it and whereabouts I'm up to with it now. I was wondering what you are all doing with regards to advent calendars this year, and if any of you are getting an advent calendar, and if so, which one. I am still very undecided. I have noticed that it's a bit of a thing now. I think that yarn dyers seem to be moving away from the standard 24 mini skeins. I've noticed that quite a lot of dyers now seem to be doing weekly advents instead. So instead of getting all the minis, you'll just get 4 or 5 full skeins and you'll open one a week. There was an advent calendar. I don't think it's been released yet actually, but the Camel's Yarn put some information up and colorways and things about her advent calendar that she's going to be releasing. And I really loved all of the colors, but she's not doing 24 minis. She did last year because I know somebody who got it, but this year she's just doing either 5 full skeins or 5 sock sets. So that kind of, threw me. So I'm not sure what to do with that one. Jess of Loom Wool, who I got the advent calendar from last year, has changed from 24 down to 12 minis. So you can either just get the 12, or you can kind of double up and get 24, but then you're going to have repeats. You'll just have 12 colours. And then the other advent that I have looked at is Beth of Beehive Yarns. I'm quite tempted because I really like her theme. It's all to do with what's it called? La Vie en Rose, I think it's called, and she describes it as being lots of shades of pinks and reds and with pops of golds and lilacs, which sounds absolutely delightful. And it's a mixture of solids, tonals, and speckled, I think, which again threw me. So I'm not sure whether I would want lots of speckled yarn. So yeah, I don't know if I'm going to bother this year. And I just wondered what any of you were doing if you are getting an advent calendar this year or not. I'm still very undecided. Part of me thinks they're so expensive, maybe just save my money this year, and I could always get some, I could get a sweater's quantity or 2 or 3 sweaters quantities of yarn with that, to be honest. So yeah, I'm not sure what to do, but feeling nosy and want to know what you are all doing. Okay, we are on to new to you projects. So, like I said, I have been concentrating a lot on summer knits, and let's go through them in no particular order. This first one is in this bag here. This is a Cumulus Tee, which is another pattern by Petite. Now, I have made this before. I made it in the colour was, I think it was called Dusty Artichoke. It's a really kind of lovely soft pale green, but I think it is too cool for me. And I also made it, cool toned. I don't just mean that I'm not cool enough to wear a Cumulus Tee. So I wanted to remake it in a warmer colour, but also the last one that I made was quite cropped, and I wanted one that was a bit longer. I made it cropped on purpose because I had a lot of high waisted things, and I don't anymore. So I can't, like, I'm not a teenager, so I can't have my tummy on show now. Really, it's yeah, we won't go there. So this is the yarn that I've got. It is Knitting for Olive Pure Silk, and the colour is copper. It is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I think it's an absolutely beautiful colour. I'm actually almost finished with this. I will be honest, I deliberately stopped once I reached this point because I wanted to be able to show you it on the podcast in progress. I didn't just want to just have a load of finished objects to show you that you've not seen before. So I did deliberately leave it once I got to this stage. So the body is finished and I have just started working the sleeves. So this is how it is looking. I just absolutely love this colour. This is another, gosh, really incredibly simple knit. Because you've got the V-neck, you knit it back and forth with increases, and then once you've worked all of those, that works the V-neck. Once you've finished those, you join it in the round, and then it's just a case of plain knitting. So it's not difficult at all. It is knit on 3mm needles, so it does take a while. And then the bottom is finished off with an I-cord edge. Bring it a bit closer. I haven't joined and sewed the ends in on this yet of the body, purely because I'm still not 100% on the length. So I thought when I'd made this previously, I thought that I had quite significantly made it, shortened it, made it cropped. And I've knit this one to the pattern length, which I think is something like 52 centimetres. And I didn't think really. I just made it to that length and did the I-cord bind off. And then when I measured it against my old Cumulus Tee, there's not really that much difference. I think there's like maybe about that much difference. So I'm leaving it because depending how much yarn I've got left at the end, I might actually go back in and undo that bind off, which is going to be a bit of a nightmare, but it's okay. And add a couple more inches on it. So I'm going to see how much I've got left. I've still got both sleeves to do, and then I just need to pick up the neck and knit an I-cord bind off on there. And I've still got obviously this one full skein, and I've got this as well, which is like a half. So I mean, I've got plenty. I think I should have enough to do that. If I wanted to. So I'm going to get that finished off now that I've shown it to you today and work the body, and yeah, I'll try it on and then maybe have to go back in there. But this in particular, I don't know why I'm holding the yarn up. This project in particular is one that I really want to take on holiday because it is worked in the pure silk. It's a really lovely light breathable fabric. So it's really nice and cool, but still gives you a bit of coverage, still leaves the shoulders covered and things like that. So I really want that to take on holiday with us. So that is one of my priorities, to get that finished. Okay, we have been going for 24 minutes now. So I think this could be a good point at which to stop. So I'm going to say goodbye, but I'm actually going to then press record again and carry on, continue recording and with the second part of this episode. So thank you so much for watching so far. I've got some absolutely gorgeous projects to show you in the second part, so please do come back. Leave me a comment, let me know about the advent calendars, whether you're getting one, what other dyers should I check out, and let me know if you're making anything, any summer projects. And I will speak to you again in a week's time, so very, very soon. So take care, everyone, and we'll catch up again very soon. Bye.